you build me up. WrestleMania week, it just let me down and messed me around. But wait, this is not the Foundations. Do not adjust your radio sets, folks. This is the Shoot Brothers podcast, hosted by myself, Mike the Shoot Shepherd, and Cameron WrestleMania week Osborne.
Boom.
And that's where we are, folks. That's what it is, because it's not just a weekend. It is a week of WrestleMania festivities. And one of the most important shows is the one you're listening to right here. I already mentioned it. We're the Shoot Brothers.
We are the Shoot Brothers, and this is the Shoot Brothers Wrestling Podcast. You are right, Mike. After the longest year in professional wrestling, we are back.
We are here. We're standing and delivering. We're on our pirate ship.
Yeah. It's Mania. That's really all that we can kind of say. I mean, of course, we got 2 nights of this. Again,
Yeah.
We got fans coming back for the first time.
First time in over a year.
Possibly cardboard cutouts of other fans. We don't know. We still don't know. It's WrestleMania. This is the biggest surprise season of the year. And actually, you know, the end of the professional wrestling year. Of course, we will pick up next again on Monday, but, you know, the end of the road. This is the end of the road.
Yeah. But, you know, if they do have cardboard cutouts, you know who's got to be up there front row?
CM Punk? Oh,
No,
you mean green shirt guy?
Well, him too, but Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Natalia's father, since we've already got the cutout ready.
We got the cutout. Well, they got the stencil ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, we can put it on a table. We can put it on a cardboard. It really doesn't matter.
She can cry and celebrate like, Daddy!
You know what?
You're here.
The green shirt guy has really been the forgotten kind of hero of professional wrestling over the past year. He's probably saved so much money, but then again, not like he needed it, because he can clearly afford these things.
Yeah, we don't know his. I want like a WWE network.
Yeah, where's the
guy.
WWE 24 on that guy?
But I would put money down right now that if this is a prop bet, I'm gonna say green shirt guy will be there both nights this weekend.
There you have it. Wow, that was a great way to kick off the bets. Of course, we have in a second half of the show, we're going to go over the Mania card. Of course, we're going to go over Stand and Deliver and the various bets that go along with that. But we have some more wrestling action to get to before we get to that. So let's actually start off with crowning a new champion with this week's Tweet of the Week champion. It's the Tweet of the Week. Yeah, it's the Tweet of the Week. What else can I say about this particular performer? They've never won this prestigious championship before.
Okay.
They've never done that. However, they are a 6-time world champion.
Huh.
You know, they are a former Intercontinental Champion, a former Tag Team Champion, and hey, even a record-setting 3-time Royal Rumble winner. This week's Tweet of the Week champion goes up to none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stunning Steve Austin, you might even call it, with those blonde locks. Do you think he's bald? Like he has to shave his head? Okay, that makes about sense. But earlier on in the week, Stone Cold Steve Austin set the wrestling world ablaze. And he tweeted, hell yeah. I'm not going to do the voice. I'm not even going to try. He says, hell yeah, no fooling around here. You're going to get it. Chris Jericho joins Stone Cold Steve Austin on the next Broken Skull session, premiering Sunday, April 11th on WWE Network.
Immediately following WrestleMania.
Following WrestleMania turns off. This turns on. Of course, this was affirmed by WWE, who then furthered that statement. And Chris Jericho himself, who said the forbidden door has been opened again. And that's right. A former AEW champion and current AEW employee, Chris Jericho, will be on the Broken Skull sessions. I've never watched one of these things before. You're damn right I'm going to watch this one.
Yeah, this is spicy. And no, they're usually well done. They're usually pretty unfiltered. Like Austin asks whatever the hell he wants. I think it's a safe bet you're going to hear the letters AEW brought up at least once.
The letters. Just hearing the letters is like, wow.
Yeah. Stone Cold, Jericho. I mean, that's huge. A current AEW wrestler. Who would have guessed this would happen? But
honestly,
I mean, obviously, it's not wrestling, but still, this is big.
You know, the stories have come out since, or interviews with Stone Cold talking about how he was able to convince Vince McMahon to do this. Of course, you know, because the Broken Skull Sessions is a WWE thing. He had sent a message out to Stone Cold like, "Hey, I had this idea." Or sorry, he sent a message out to Vince saying like, "Hey, I had this idea." And Vince responds by saying, "Yeah, that's fine." And Stone Cold says,
yeah.
"I don't think he understood what I was saying. I want to have Chris Jericho on the show." Vince is like, "Yeah, that's fine." He was still skeptical. I don't think he understands what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, you know, the dirt sheets will let us know if Vince McMahon actually knows what's going on. But until then, I mean, it must be filmed already. They were already in the room. So it's clearly being filmed.
Yeah, I think I've seen like a screenshot of it. So
yeah.
I think maybe Vince, he's just that arrogant. He's like, no one gives a shit about AEW anyways.
No one gives a shit about Chris Jericho anyways.
It's like TNA, it's AEW, it's the same thing. But there you have it. Definitely.
If WrestleMania week couldn't be any more exciting, this is really just the icing on the cake. This is the cherry on top to this long week of professional wrestling.
Yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out as well.
Well, let's get into the week then, shall we? Yeah. Because we should tarry no further, because we do have a lot of important things to get to. Now, this isn't quite a go-home for the entire company, but we do have to run back to Friday because we got some SmackDown Live. Okay, folks, it's Friday night. It's time for SmackDown Live. It used to be on Tuesday, but then I think it was on Friday before, though. No, wait, they used to film it on a Thursday and then release it. It's just SmackDown Live.
Well, you know what? I think we kind of can call this the go-home.
It felt like it.
And because they announced that this Friday SmackDown is going to be WrestleMania SmackDown, right?
Which I guess just meant, so of course we're getting the Andre the Memorial Battle Giant Royal.
Yeah,
we're getting that cluster.
Yeah, that and the SmackDown Tag Title Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, and between those two things, I mean, fuck, you could just kind of make it the whole thing.
I think they're eliminating the pre-show because they want WrestleMania to kick off with like a big bang, first crowd back, no pre-show, no bullshit. Let's just get right into the matches. So I think these two matches probably would have been the pre-show for night 1 and 2, so they're just throwing it on SmackDown instead.
And if you're attending the event, I can't think of a professional wrestling show where, or you know, more than people will want to be there on fucking time.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. So why kind of...
And I'm sure extra time this year because of all the protocols getting in and shit.
Why pull our chain for an hour? It's like, no, Mania's starting at 8, bro. Mania is starting at 8. But anyway, so yeah, you're right. This could be kind of like the feeling of this go-home show for SmackDown, which is great. And who better to kick off this week's SmackDown than our Royal Rumble winner? Edge, kicking off the show with that evil, tilting his head down, looking up above his eyes look, which...
He's got the crazy eye.
This is the look of a man who will do whatever he wants. Or has to.
Whenever he gets real serious, he like opens his eyes a bit and talks with his mouth.
Furrows his brow. It's like, yeah, do your Edge face. Everyone's got a good Edge face.
But yeah, he comes out, he starts cutting a promo on Daniel Bryan and Roman and the WrestleMania main event. And he's just being more heelish, calling Bryan a weasel, things like that.
Yeah.
But no interruptions. He just got his whole promo out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Edge, you know, I mean, this is our full kind of heel turn. Promo ends, and he heads up the ramp. Hell yeah. Certainly, the story arc, I'm sure, feels a lot similar to Batista's 2014 run. You know,
definitely.
You know, his return and win overshadowing the success of Daniel Bryan. But, you know, I mean, we have the leader of the Yes Movement, the Tribal Chief, and the Rated R Superstar. I mean, on nicknames alone, this is the main event.
Yeah, they got some good names. Chad Gable and Mr. Otis come out, just cut a promo talking about alphas, and they're going to win the SmackDown titles, which we said will be defended next week. So, yeah, then I think we bring out a bunch of more guys, have a big 8-man tag. Mm-hmm. The 8 guys from the title match, you know what we're doing here. So same old thing. We're getting hyped up. Otis hits a big splash, gets a 3 count. So Alpha Academy looks strong.
The heels take the win.
Yeah. And I think pretty much any of these teams should win, except for Dolph and Rude. So
yeah, so Dolph and Rude should not retain. That's the only thing that really matters here.
Yeah. So change the belts next Friday.
Gable and Otis feel hot coming into this, though.
Yeah, they've actually been doing a decent job building them. Otis is no longer goofy. I mean, Mandy Rose was on this show, and they didn't even cross paths, so he's laser focused.
How quickly we forget.
Yeah. I know the crowd never even got to see them kiss live.
I know. That would have been like the equivalent of the best friends hugging each other, you know, where the camera like pans back really quickly. We would have gotten that kind of treatment, but we never quite did. We never got it.
Corey Graves is in the ring to mediate this face-to-face between Cesaro, Seth Rollins, who, once again, another new snazzy suit. He must have spent a lot on this morning.
Yeah, who do you think pays for the suits? Like the performer, or do you think Vince pays for the suits?
I think for the most part it's on the performer. Unless they need something specific for a segment.
I mean, these are some particularly nice-looking suits.
Yeah, but they're also flashy and unique. This one was like a tie-dye.
Tie-dye.
Anyways, they're hyping up their match. Rollins gets all pissy, starts yelling at Cesaro. Tells him to take a swing, but Seth just walks away all flustered.
Saving face, I guess. Cesaro's over. I'm excited for the crowd reaction of having Cesaro in a singles match at WrestleMania, coming in hot. Too.
Yeah, they've done a good job these last few months of kind of putting, as of 2020, he did nothing. Now he's actually doing something this year.
Yeah, there was a few too many cheesy swing jokes. I think they're in there. I don't remember them in particular, but there was 3. So I feel like that was too many. Maybe too many.
Yeah, it's kind of the jokes themselves weren't funny, but the fact that Rollins is so afraid of the swing is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Or not afraid, just he feels like it's embarrassing to get hit with it.
I don't know.
But anyways, backstage, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, they're with Reginald, and they just blow past Carmella. And Nia's like, hey, you treated Reggie bad, and walks off. So they never even really broke up, did they? They just kind of, I don't know. Reggie, he's just hopping all over the place. Literally, and...
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because when Ellsworth got canned from Natalya, he sort of stayed that way. He didn't latch on to anybody. Or, sorry, not Natalya, Carmella. He didn't latch on to anybody else, I don't think.
Yeah, I think, then he just did his own thing, with fighting with AJ Styles and shit. Or maybe that was before. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Too much Reggie.
Yeah, the whole thing feels weak.
Shayna Baszler takes on Natalya. They have a short match. They just both go for the pins. They're reversing each other, and Natalya's the one who ends up pinning Shayna down for the 3 count. So big upset for the kitty cat.
Meow. I mean, this is still the biggest mess in recent years, though, right?
Which part?
This whole thing.
Shayna Baszler?
The people involved, the championship, they're all supposed to be sought after, they're all supposed to be seeking. The addition of a man for no reason. This is still, Natalya beats Shayna, sure. Fucking Nia beats Bianca, sure. It's still the biggest mess we have heading into the show of shows.
Yeah, and they want to add more to it so that everyone just starts running out. People who aren't even on this brand. Dana and Mandy, Lana, Naomi, big brawl. Which we expect is leading to this big women's tag title stuff that we wanted. That
will get, I'm sure, because they have to... Oh, my God. So odd. So bizarre. What's Shotzi doing? Let's go. Let's check out. Let's check out. I can't wait for that stand and deliver to see these things actually matter.
Well, we did see Carmella one more time backstage when Billie Kay gives her the resume and she accepts it. So maybe Billie Kay will get something. I don't know. Billie Kay for Mania?
Probably not.
Probably not, no. Sami Zayn, speaking of nice suits, he's dressed in a real nice suit. This was I don't know what color would you describe it? It was like oil reflection in water.
Oh, I was gonna say it was, oil and water.
You know what I mean?
That's actually not bad. That was actually the way it shimmered in the the
Yeah,
like
it
it's
had,
gold, but it
multicolors.
looked like oil
But it had like
and
a
water.
purple, rainbowish.
Yeah.
Oil and water. Anyways, the reason he's all dressed up, he's got his hair slicked back. He's got the red carpet rolled out as the limousine arrives, and his special guest, Logan Paul, is here. So Sammy comes down to the ring. He's got everything set up for the big reveal, the premiere of the trailer for his documentary, which he hypes up, brings out the guest of honor, Logan. They sit in their little director chairs. Sammy just rants about the conspiracy, and anyways, we roll the footage. Very well put together. Justice for Sammy, coming soon. That's what it's called.
Is that? Or do you think they're gonna put it on the network or something?
I hope so. I mean, they had all this footage that we hadn't seen before, shot like backstage and with other people. So I hope they put something together.
Yeah, I feel like they could. It's no skin. No,
I mean,
skin
they
off
gave
their
Elias
nose.
a whole album. They can do this.
Elias has an album?
Yeah.
No way. I didn't know that.
I think it came out a while
Is
ago.
it pretty bad?
He has like 2 albums now, doesn't he?
What? This is all
I
news to
think
me.
so. Maybe like EPs, like 6 songs each.
Yeah.
But still. Don't remember last year when he kept singing that song and he was promoting it?
I can never tell what's a song and what's him making fun of the local sports team. So.
Well, anyways, Sammy's all excited, and he invites him to join him again for WrestleMania. So Logan Paul's like, all right. And then, but he tells him that Kevin Owens approached him in the locker room, and so he's all mad. Owens appears, hits him with a stunner. But then Owens walks past Logan Paul and kind of shoves him a bit on the way by. So I think this is going to lead to some heel Logan Paul helping Sammy in the match.
Well, yeah. If you're paying Logan Paul to appear on your television, you're gonna get your both appearances. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe he's too much money for one appearance. You know. Maybe he drops the price a bit if it's a twofer.
I could see him swinging a kendo stick at Kevin Owens or something. Hit him in the back.
Yeah.
That's it, physical involvement. Not taking a bump, but giving a bump. Or giving a shot.
Giving a shot of sorts, yeah, and then running away.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Up next, Carmella, who we haven't seen in a while. She was all over the show this night. She was in a match against Bianca Belair. But, thankfully, they're not going to let Belair lose this close to Mania, right?
Hopefully not. But again, this whole thing has been off the wild.
Yeah, but luckily Bianca gets a hold of Carmella, hits the kiss of death, gets the win. And then afterwards, Sasha appears in this full bodysuit, looking like a superhero. And then she just kind of grabs Belair on the shoulder, but doesn't take a swing. So it's kind of weird. She's just like, hey, it's me. And then she just sneaks off.
Yeah,
but the suit looked great.
I think the whole segment, well, that doesn't matter in terms of what's happening for WrestleMania, right?
It turns the segment from a 2 to a 3 for me.
A 2 to a 3. That's a huge
out of 10.
jump. Yeah, from a 40% to a... Or from a 20% to 30%.
Yes.
Yeah. Carmella got way too much offense in. They're like on to the Royal Rumble winner, right?
Well, she did kind of sneak her during the entrance to get the advantage.
Yeah. I feel like this is just a great. This is just a great 50-50 booking. Just a classic 50-50 booking right here.
I mean, 3 out of 10, still not a good grade. So
I think that is a failing grade, actually.
For right before WrestleMania, yeah. This whole thing has been very poorly built.
Especially, this was, now an instance. It was, or at least it was the only instance on this show where it was like she's not involved in WrestleMania.
Carmella?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not
right now.
So, I feel like you don't have to be on the show then.
Unless they really are going to go with Billie Kay and Carmella and sneak them into that tag team turmoil.
But then even so, why did we throw her into this match,
I don't know.
Yeah, very weird.
I guess at the very least, Belair gets a win.
A lot of weird things going up around there at the Thunderdome.
Yeah. No, the women's feuds have not been built well.
All 3 women's belts right now are just whack.
Yeah. Speaking of whack, King Corbin, he cuts a little promo. So I think I I thought maybe they dropped the king, but I was wrong. He's still the king.
Yeah, that was too bad. That was unfortunate.
Not my king.
Not my king.
Anyways, backstage throughout the night, I think there's Paul Heyman and Edge. They're having words. So they say, hey, we want the same thing. It should be you one-on-one with Roman. And that little bastard Brian snuck his way in. So anyways, just heels being heels.
Working together, plotting together.
Possibly. But the main event, once again, these two, Daniel Bryan taking on Jey Uso in a street fight.
Okay.
So, we just get more great work from these guys. They've had a lot of good stuff recently. So, chair shots. We get a steel chain at one point. Guys are hitting each other with chains. Uso hits the Uso splash, but Bryan kicks out of that. And then he grabs a hold of the chain, starts beating Uso with it. And then he applies the yes lock, gets the tap out victory. But right after, he rolls right out of the ring, runs over, hits Edge with a flying knee, and just starts slamming him into the ring post. Then he marches on over to Reigns. Reigns throws us off his chair at him, but Bryan ducks that, hits another big running knee on him, puts the yes lock on Reigns on the ramp until officials come out and break it up. So Bryan just standing tall over both men to end the show here.
Hoping that history can repeat itself.
Who knows? We'll see.
Yes, but Daniel Bryan's right. No, he's not just some guy who schemed his way into a title shot. When we saw him at he outlasted the Chamber and then had to take on Roman last time. He outlasted Uso today and then still took both guys out.
Yeah, he's earned his shots, and he hasn't gotten a fair one yet. So hopefully, Sunday night.
Yeah, certainly my favorite part about SmackDown in the past few months, especially on this show, it felt like everything felt a little underwhelming for that go-home show, like you said. But this, anything that Daniel Bryan's involved with never disappoints.
Yeah.
Never.
No, I think for the most part, the Universal title one's been the only really consistently well-booked feud going into the WrestleMania weekend. Certainly the one that I think that has the most interest.
Yeah, it's the most eyes on the prize, too. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was it, the SmackDown before the WrestleMania SmackDown.
That was our go-home SmackDown, I guess. Yeah, we're going to get this, next week on SmackDown is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and then the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
But no Women's Battle Royal.
Yeah, I think that's probably just been erased.
Was there two of them? Did we get two of them in there?
Yeah, two, at least two. I think Naomi won one, and I can't remember who won the other one.
Oh yeah, Naomi won it. Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think before they had NXT women in, and now that they have NXT with their tag division, they kind of want to keep them separated, maybe. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Enough women.
That's a good point.
Well, not that we need that, anyways.
I personally am not banking on it.
No, they didn't even have a. They had a trophy, but it wasn't anything. It wasn't Andre.
Hardy?
What?
Matt Hardy won it last time?
The women's battle royal?
Oh, sorry. No, I thought you said the men's one. Oh, no.
No. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, let's move along here.
Sure. Moving on. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that was the end of the show. So let's move on to Monday Night Raw.
Let's get raw. Let's get raw.
Monday night. This is the Go Home Show.
This is the actual Go Home Show.
Yeah. So, of course, we got to get Drew McIntyre coming out. He's angry. He's got his leather jacket over his kilt. So that's how you know he's angry. We don't see him with leather on that much.
Yeah, because it's a weird look. It's a weird look to wear a leather jacket and a kilt.
Yeah. But anyways, he's fired up, cuts a promo on Bobby Lashley and the big title match coming up Saturday. So Bobby and MVP come out. They give their rebuttal. It's almighty time, and everyone goes back and forth until Baron Corbin comes out. He starts threatening Drew, and they're going to have a match later.
Which is great. King Corbin also using his.
Is it great?
Well, this is his second use of the wild card rule. He is still
He's
within.
burning through them.
He is still well within his rights as a WWE superstar.
He is burning through them, though.
No, was it supposed to be 5
two.
total? Okay.
Per quarter? I don't know. Either way, he's going through them. Two in a row there.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was the thing. So
We'll come back to
it. Xavier Woods takes on AJ Styles, and then everything was going all right. But on the outside of the ring, Kofi Kingston just starts yelling at Omos and just chucks a microphone at him hard. I think it breaks the damn thing. But Omos, he's a tough guy, just bounces off his chest, and he just power walks towards Kofi, who slides away through the ring, and all this causes distractions for AJ, so Xavier Woods rolls him up, gets a 3 count.
the most devastating move in sports entertainment, right? The roll-up.
All it takes is 3.
Pardon?
All it takes is 3 seconds, and you're a winner.
All it takes, or 2.5 if you're Mike Tyson.
Yeah. I rolled up my dog and I pinned him down for the 3 count.
Just a quick one. Yeah, that's why, titles have been won on the most dangerous move in sports entertainment, the roll-up. Yeah. Necessary? Probably not. Good? Maybe. Yeah. Funny? Okay. But yeah, high hopes, or at least, higher hopes for this, for Omos going into WrestleMania.
Yeah. This is one where I'm looking forward to the match just for the sake of to see what he can do.
Okay. Yeah, me too, certainly.
But one thing that I think we're all not really. Well, anyways, Braun Strowman comes out. He's cutting a promo, and they lower the cage just so he can cut a promo. I don't know why they always do this. Like when they have the ladder too, they hang the Money in the Bank for the Money in the Bank promo. It's
just so they can talk about the ladder. Yeah, I don't get it.
So, anyways, he's Braun. He's saying, I'm all heroic. And he tries to stand up against bullies. And this is for anyone that's ever been called stupid. So, anyways, Shane comes out, calls him stupid. And Elias and Riker come out. That's pretty much it, right?
This whole promo, I think, was based on Brains versus Braun. This whole thing.
I mean, the whole feud. That's what it comes down to. Is that one little use of Braun's?
Yeah, it was the one. Name. It's that one. They've been pushing this pun for a month and a half now. Get it?
Feels like 3
Brains
months.
Versus Braun. You're Braun, and then it actually makes me think. Remember, like the other week, there was like his report card.
Yeah.
It almost like makes it worse from a kayfabe point of view. It makes you almost realize more that they picked the name Braun Strowman because he is Braun, like because he has a lot of strength and he's big. It almost brings it brings more awareness to why he's named something. I'm like, wait.
I never did think of it that way until this
feud. Yeah, it's like we were thinking it was just a coincidence that his name is also a word used to define something large. It was kind of pulling something back. The veil, maybe.
Yeah. Well, he's out here though. He's gonna have a handicap match against Elias and Riker because why not? But thankfully, it's not too long. He hits a couple power slams and pins both men at the same time. So, hey, choo-choo.
Yeah, I also don't like...
They didn't play the train noise.
Thank God they didn't play the choo-choo thing. I was just about to say...
Because I don't think he even left the ring.
To say that.
But will they play it at WrestleMania? Prop bet.
Fuck, I don't care to know.
Actually, no, he's in the cage, so hopefully...
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a piss when they're during that match, and then I'll come back and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Shane O'Mac. He always comes out with a custom WrestleMania jersey. Maybe it'll be Brains O'Mac this year.
Brain O'Mac. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. That was actually a pretty good one. Yeah, the Brain O'Mac and Braun Strowman.
Yeah. But the Bad Bunny and Damian Priest pull up in this sharp $3.6 million Bugatti. Was it owned or is it leased? I don't know, but either way, you want to take good care of that thing.
Mm-hmm. I sure hope nothing bad happens to it.
Yeah. It's safe to park it here in front of all these angry dudes that fight backstage all the time.
Because certainly Bad Bunny is a big fan of WWE, which means that he was watching WWE programming at approximately this time last year, 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe before WrestleMania, and he saw the beautiful gift that Colin Jost and Michael Che gave to Braun Strowman. Remember that really nice red sports car? He saw that and he was like, you know what? I that car was treated with so much respect and so much due diligence that I am going to bring an equally as expensive vehicle and put it right here. But, Bad Bunny's I think he's like 23 years old. He's a kid. So, certainly he doesn't remember limos being filled with cement. He doesn't remember Stone Cold's monster truck driving over things. He doesn't remember Kofi splashing like whole cans of paint onto a NASCAR. If we can remember that event from few years. Yeah, Bad Bunny's recent WWE knowledge doesn't remember those types of events.
No, so he's comfy. He
has no problem parking his car backstage.
Yeah, he's gone to go kick it somewhere. But that gives ample opportunity for Miz and Morrison, like Bugs Bunny characters. They sneak over to the car with paint cans and they just go to town. They get their brushes out, just start painting things all over this. Bunny pictures, hey, hey, hop, hop. They sign their names on it, which is foolish. Now everyone's going to know it was them. But, they run off. The deed's done. And Bad Bunny comes back to discover his vandalized car. And he is steamed. And then to add injury to insult, Ms. Mo just jump him from behind. And they slam his head into a lesser expensive Nissan, which is parked right beside the Bugatti.
And that was part of the put down, We're gonna smash you against a Nissan, not a Bugatti.
Well, I think the Bugatti didn't want to take a bump. $3 million car.
I was personally underwhelmed by the act of vandalism which occurred, just because we have seen cars being destroyed in so many more fashions. Remember the time Brock Lesnar just flat out ripped off like the door of a car and chucked it at somebody? We've seen cars.
The crowd.
We've seen cars be destructed in so many ways, and then we see Miz and Morrison essentially with like a palette of water paint, and then kind of like very like listfully painting their names on a car. Just in the grand scheme of destruction and motivation for destruction, it would have been nice to see maybe this car, gotten the shit kicked out of it.
Well, I think perhaps this is his actual car.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm committed, but I'm not that committed.
I'm not that committed, guys.
Yeah. Unless we can do some sort of insurance fraud here. But anyways, let's move on. Because we got this tag team match we were promised last week. Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax taking on Asuka and Rhea Ripley. But I don't think it's for the title.
It wasn't, which I thought last week it was. Yeah, I don't know where they turned it into not, though.
Maybe they changed their minds because this is when they announced that Shayna and Nia will defend those titles on night 2 against the winners of a tag team turmoil from night 1. So
fantastic. That's like WWE saying like, hey, that thing that you really want to see? Well, we'll show it to you later, but we'll show you that other thing you really want to see the night before.
Yeah.
I don't want to see either.
I do.
Okay. No, that's great. That's great. Because of course, the intention of the go home show, and certainly if there is a match or however the presence is before WrestleMania, before any major pay-per-view, the point should be to make you more excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is for Nia and Shayna to lose their belts. That's what I want to see.
But so we saw, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions on this show, and then, the announcement of the 2 matches that'll fall on the weekend. And, Mike, this has made you more excited. So it's done its point. It's done its job.
I mean, yeah, I was hoping that the belts were... I mean, not because of anything that they did necessarily, just by existing on the card.
Oh, so just by seeing that there's a match... You are stoked that it could mean, okay, so it doesn't make you any more excited for the program,
it's not because
for the
of
performers.
This. No.
It's
not because of that.
So it had nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
so it had
it's
nothing
the
to
potential of like, oh, hey, the Riot Squad could have a big WrestleMania match. Or,
okay. I was confused there for a sec. Right.
No, this was bad. So, yeah, you know what's going to happen here. Rhea and Asuka, they're not fully cooperating, so tagging in and out. But Rhea's the one acting more on the heel side here, I'd say. So Asuka just gets frustrated, and Reggie gets involved because he's there. So eventually there's chaos everywhere. Asuka's on the top rope, and Ripley shoves her off to the floor. And then she just slams Asuka again down on the floor, throws her back in the ring to Baszler, who hits a big knee, gets a 3 count. So Ripley, yeah, acting. I mean, I still don't think she's heel, but acting heelish.
I mean, this is the kind of the two birds with one stone, right? Like, Ripley and Asuka should not be getting along, and it makes the tag team champions look strong. This is just one of these weird ones where it's like, Mike, I think you and I both feel that these tag champions are not strong, but over the past month, they have been booked to appear so.
Yeah.
And this is like the ultimate, like, you know, I can't quite detach those two things in my head. Like the way it's being booked. I mean, because if you think about any other performers, team, whatever, but imagine you had your tag team champions who both members on separate weeks individually beat the world heavyweight champions. You know, it'd be like 1 week Rude beats Bobby Lashley, and then the next week Dolph Ziggler beats Roman Reigns. You'd be thinking to yourself, holy shit, this tag team is the strongest thing that's ever happened in professional wrestling. But I can't quite get that. I can't quite get there in my mind when it comes to Nia and Shayna.
No, but I mean, I could also see, like, if they were to lose the tag belts, they could both just jump right into the actual title picture. Whereas the men's tag champs, I don't think that's the case.
Okay, possibly, yeah. But I mean, in terms of, again, like we said, like getting ourselves excited for the match. Yeah. I don't feel like this is the two strongest competitors taking on the field.
No.
Which I feel like if it was booked differently with different people, it would give you that feeling.
Yeah. No, my excitement just comes from wanting to see them get beat. Is what it is. And I mean, I guess they have. I mean, it will feel like you're conquering something to get them beat.
Yeah.
Because they've been champions for quite a while now. So.
Too long now.
Hopefully, we'll get to that. But Bobby Lashley is taking on Cedric Alexander, and just part 2 from last week. The Hurt Business breakup. They jump Lashley before the bell rings, but he fights him off and just shuts him down. Hits some power moves. The almighty spine buster, the Hurt Lock, gets the win.
It feels like Bobby Lashley has 2 feuds going on right now. He has his world championship defense coming up at Mania, but he's also like in a feud with his own, with the rest of the Hurt Business or the ex members of the Hurt Business, and he's doing a good job at making them both feel important. He's he's covering 2 separate, he's covering 2 bases at once, and he's doing a good job at it.
Are Cedric and Shelton going to appear at all this weekend?
I hope not.
I mean, does the band still stand from ringside?
Yeah, are they still? They were banned from ringside, so just because I think they would still have to be banned from ringside, even though it doesn't matter, quote unquote, or anything.
Oh well, Bad Bunny comes out with his buddy Damian Priest. And Priest just says, Ms. Mo crossed the line and proposes that we turn this into a tag team match at WrestleMania. And then Bunny cuts a promo as well. And he says he loves and respects the wrestling business and all the superstars, but Miz disrespected him, so he's going to get payback. And then Miz and Morrison appear on the screen, and they accept the tag team challenge before pulling away in their limousine. So It looks like Priest is cleared, which is what or whoever was injured, Priest or Morrison, one of them. They've been cleared. We'll get our tag match.
Yeah, we'll get that tag match, which is probably for the best. I bet they didn't want to book it too early, just in case whoever was hurt wasn't able to recover.
Yeah, and props to Bunny. He was willing to go in there by himself, but now he has a bit of a safety net.
Yeah,
to carry a bit low.
And hopefully, they can. Hopefully, Damian Priest can pull a lot of the weight. I hope, just because I feel like he's the guy that he was called up to. He had the most eliminations at the Rumble back in January. Like, we want to see him fly on his own.
Yeah, And I think he's still undefeated since being called up.
Fantastic.
Yeah, none of that Keith Lee bullshit yet.
None of that.
Who also has been mysteriously... There's some mystery going on with him in his absence. Without speculating too much, it's, I don't know, something health related, but it's beyond COVID, I think. Hopefully nothing too serious. That's crazy. But
Yeah. All the
anyways,
best.
yeah. Then we get the singles action here. Riddle taking on Mustafa Ali, and they were having a pretty nice match. Sheamus was on commentary, so Riddle goes over to him, puts his hat on, does his little bro dance. You know, with the thumbs, the pinky, the hang loose sign.
Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
I think it's hang loose. I think that's the, yeah.
But then he dances. He loves doing his bro dance.
The
But
gnome.
anyways, this enrages Sheamus. Ali takes advantage, goes for a big tornado DDT, but Riddle catches him mid-flight, transitions it right into the bro Derek to get the win.
Now, we need to address WWE adding these graphics of birds flying
During the flip-flop.
when when Matt Riddle does his little flip-flop thing.
Yeah? Do you... okay, let's address it.
Okay, let's just address it.
Thoughts?
Okay, so here's what I think what is happening. Here's why I think they're doing it. I think it's because Matt Riddle's stoned all the time.
Yeah.
So, cartoony birds, he's tripping out. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's what Vince thinks pot's
That's
like.
what Vince thinks, like smoking pot does to you. But what I don't get is that why we see it. Because if he was the one who was high, why would the viewers at home see these flying birds? That's the part I don't get. I
thought the visual transition was pretty good. Like as soon as the flip-flop flies, it like explodes into a bouquet of birds, like a magic trick.
Oh yeah, it looked fine. They have this Fox budget now.
And the commentary was like, "Whoa, the birds! Did you see that?"
See, yeah, it's almost like, is Matt Riddle so stoned that he makes everybody else stoned?
It's
But
contact high.
is it a contact high? I just wanted to get that out of the way because, this could be... We certainly won't see it on Mania Day. I am curious about how many of those visual gags will play or not.
Gags.
Yeah, like the big Roman Reigns doing his hoo-ah whenever Roman Reigns is doing his
bronze
entrance.
statue.
Yeah, it's like we'll still get that.
Yeah. And they have the Alexa Bliss head.
Yeah, but it's the bird. But these birds thing, I don't know
I
if
think
that's
we'll get the
gonna.
birds.
You think we're gonna get it?
I think they put a lot into those birds.
They put a lot of time into that. Yeah.
And this is gonna be. Has Riddle ever wrestled in front of a crowd? Or since being called up? I can't remember.
That's a good question. Well, I think last Mania it was Matt Riddle and Bobby Lashley actually.
Wow.
Which was
What a
kind of
year
funny.
it's
I think
been.
actually Matt Riddle got the win in that.
What a year! It feels
What
like
a year it's been, eh? Yeah. We can go from there to there. No, Aleister Black got the win on Bobby Lashley last year. My bad.
Okay. And where the hell is he?
Yeah, where the heck's he's been? But Matt Riddle. Yeah, this will be fun. One thing I like about that with Mustafa Ali sticking around, they're doing like this opposite thing where normally, like if a faction breaks apart from its leader, power slams the leader, the faction comes back the next week and the leader is off television for a couple weeks as they recover from their injuries. They're kind of doing an opposite thing now here where Mustafa Ali gets power bombed by his entire faction. He's back the next week. His faction still hasn't returned. I don't know if this means that, Retribution is getting the masks off.
Yeah, I think
and some time to recover their mental stress.
I believe that the other three guys are in the Andre Battle Royal, but I could be wrong.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But hopefully, I don't know, because they showed the graphic, and I think I saw them all, and they were still in there.
All three of them, eh?
But, I mean, if they just came out... I don't know. Maybe that's not a good way to debut them without their masks.
Yeah, it's a tough one. But either way, Mustafa Ali keeps losing.
Yeah. But there was a main event. And a bit of an... I don't know. If this was my main event for the go-home show of WrestleMania, I don't know if I would have done this. But Drew McIntyre is taking on Baron Corbin, who's not even wrestling at WrestleMania. But, it was a Corbin match. It has its limits. They go back and forth. Corbin hits a deep 6, gets a near fall. MVP hands Corbin his cane to use as a weapon, but then Corbin turns around into the Claymore, so Drew gets the win. And then Lashley comes out and they stare down.
And Baron Corbin got a lot of offense in on this one, too.
Yeah, this was like a 20-minute match. But
yeah, it was a 20
pretty
minute.
long for a Corbin.
It felt like it was pretty long, someone who's like, they're, two guys who are like equal size, approximately, they're able to put on a good match. Wasn't great by any means, but I feel bad for Baron Corbin right now. It's because he has no WrestleMania feud.
Well, yeah, he was just so thrown into this thing last minute. And they're like, but he's not in the Hurt Business, but he's an associate.
An associate, yeah. He's for the
Business
Raw
partner.
before Mania, this did actually kind of feel lackluster. I think for both shows, actually, with the exception of that Daniel Bryan Jey Uso match, which fucking brought the house down.
Yeah, no, I mean that Universal title thing really has been carrying the load. It feels like when it comes to the hype, but I mean, at the end of the day, the wrestling is what matters, and that'll probably all deliver. But as a go-home show, yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot.
That's all we're really hoping for is like, shit, okay, well then, let's hope that some of these things, like the United States Championship or even, this Raw Tag Championship, it's like, let's hope that we can get something going here.
Yeah.
We also had no Big E or Apollo Crews on that SmackDown show. Maybe we'll get a bit of hint of them on Friday, ahead of their big matchup.
Yeah, we got to find out what the hell a Nigerian drum match is.
Is it going to be loud? It could be. We'll have to see. Mike, should we take a break now?
Let's take a break, then we'll do our big previews.
Yeah, we're going to take a break now. We're going to come back, of course, with 2 nights of Stand and Deliver, and then we have 2 nights of WrestleMania, so you're going to want to stick around, and we will be back.
Let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah.
Back here with part 2 of the podcast, folks. Our weekly content is done, and now it is time to get to the real business, because, of course, WrestleMania is coming up, this special 2-night affair. But a few nights before that, we actually have a 2-night NXT pay-per-view. Of course, we're talking about NXT Stand and Deliver, which will be, Wednesday and Thursday night. Smaller card, shorter card, to be expected. But, with this growing NXT roster, it almost feels like we might be needing to look at multiple nights in the future.
Yeah, I'm still not 100% certain how the Wednesday night one is going to work, because it's broadcasting on the network as well as on the television station. Are there going to be commercials? Is it going to be uncut on the Peacock version, or how's it going to work? I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see if it's one of those constant picture-in-picture things, but also when you're watching a match on television, these things are done in picture-in-picture for reasons, and we know that the officials kind of tell the performers, "Hey, don't go as hard for the next 2.5 minutes."
But fall to the floor so you can lay down and we can take a break.
Exactly, right? But are you going to tell that to Io Shirai when she's taking on Raquel Gonzalez for that NXT Women's Championship? You're going to tell her "Hey, Io, take it easy for a minute." Fuck that. She's going to the sky.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it'll. I don't know. I don't know how the Wednesday night's gonna work, but either way, we got some hot matches booked. The pirate theme is carried over from WrestleMania.
Yeah, we're 2 years straight themed, which is fantastic. We haven't done this since WrestleMania 1 and 2. We haven't had the same theme. So, Mike, how about this? How about we have two nights, 10 matches total. How about you book the first night of Stand and Deliver, and then I will book the second night.
That sounds good. Let's just start off with the match. No title on the line, but certainly lots of pride and honor. These guys, they know how to grapple. They know how to fight. I'm talking about Pete Dunne and Kushida. You're going to get a lot of limb manipulation in this one. Arms and fingers are going to be bent in ways that they shouldn't be.
This is a perfect. This would be a perfect way to kick off the show. Also, a hot singles match between two of the, maybe not youngest, but brightest stars that NXT has. Both guys need big wins right now, too.
Yeah, I know Pete Dunne was UK champ, but both still looking for some gold over here on this side of the pond. So this could be, winner of this could be getting something coming up soon. So I don't know.
Could be. I would love to. I'd love to see Kushida run the distance with this. Pete Dunne has his Pat McAfee and friends to always fall back on. Kushida's got nobody and nothing. So the least we can do is give him a little win.
Yeah. But then we got to crown the vacant NXT Tag Team Champions. So we're going to have a triple threat match between MSK, Grizzled Young Veterans, and Legado del Fantasma. I think MSK should win this. It was theirs to win a few months ago before that injury happened. So let's just finish what we started.
Yes, it was theirs to lose anyways.
Yeah.
So I see them as being the guys to go with. But yeah, hopefully we can see some flash from these two guys, because we only had those few opportunities in the tournament. We haven't really gotten to see them that much yet. So, and as soon as you have triple threat rules, no disqualifications, let's let these guys go for it.
Yeah, this will be fun. And then we had the Battle Royal last week to determine the 6 men who are going to be in this Gauntlet Eliminator match. And the winner of that becomes number 1 contender for the North American Championship, which will be, they'll challenge Johnny Gargano on night 2. But the 6 men, Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, LA Knight. Let's give it to Cameron Grimes.
Yeehaw! Pew, pew, pew. This will be great. The North American Championship has a history of well-fought multi-man matches, and this one is no different. Under Gauntlet Eliminator rules, LA Knight has the advantage. He is the one who will be coming in last in that tournament correct. After outlasting Grimy and Dexter Lumis at the end, and for that reason, I think LA Knight's going to walk home with it. He is the oldest of all the competitors coming into it, and certainly the most accomplished outside of WWE and then coming into NXT. I think, the time is now to maybe kind of cash in on his skill and his name and his look, and this could be a good night for him.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Most of these guys you could make a case for winning. I think the only guy who doesn't, the only one who's actually been the champion, Leon Ruff, is the one I see with the least amount of chance to win it.
Yeah, you're right. I kind of see that too. Not to say that the whole Leon Ruff thing was a fluke. It was certainly no fluke. He did it once.
Yeah, I love it, and it's permanently established. We'll forever know Leon Ruff. We'll always like the guy.
Exactly.
But yes,
he had a pretty. He had a 3.5 week reign too. I'm sure.
Yeah. But let's move on. This next match. I'm hyped for it. It could be the main event, but I'll give that honor to the women. So the second last match, Walter is going to be defending his NXT United Kingdom Championship against Tommaso Ciampa. And I think this is going to be a banger. Both men are just going to be raw and beaten, bloody, red chests from chopping all over the place. Tommaso Ciampa's head's veins are going to be bursting. But no, this is going to be a crazy match, I think.
This match has so many things in it, too. Tommaso Ciampa, who has some of the best matches in NXT history under his belt. And Walter, who the North American audience hasn't seen in well over a year now, and the fans want him. The fans like him. And
he's almost he's like a Brock Lesnar type at this point.
Almost, yeah. He shows up every so often, and he's so big. Yeah.
And he's officially passed the 2-year mark as a UK champion.
Jesus Christ.
Which is the longest title run of any kind in WWE since 1984, Hulk Hogan.
I was about to say, he's putting up some Bob Backlund numbers right now.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Like you said, Mike, this is going to tear the house down. Walter will retain, but Tommaso Ciampa can lose and still be one of the tops. What I'm
potential potential 5-star match, folks. You heard it.
There's a few potential 5-star matches here on this card over the course of the these 2 days. What I'm excited to see is now, and we've noticed this a few weeks, Tommaso Ciampa's hair keeps getting a little bit longer. And so clearly somebody's telling him not to cut it. And so, we're going to see Tommaso Ciampa on Wednesday night, and it could be the longest hair we've ever seen.
I mean, up until if he keeps growing it out, it's always going to be the longest it's ever been.
At least in WWE, he used to sport the very short mohawk look. That look where it's like buzzed around the mohawk, but then like the mohawk is half an inch or an inch tall. Like that kind of thing. Like
Taxi Driver.
Similar to that. Yeah, similar to that. He rocked that kind of look for a lot of his time on the indies, at least. But since NXT, Tommaso Ciampa has not had hair this long.
How far do you think he'll go?
Well,
enough that he can start putting like an elastic around
No,
it?
he's balding, right?
Well,
so
I know that, but you can still
thing.
get like a skullet.
No,
you can grow it down at the back, like Hogan.
Right, like what Shawn Michaels probably looked like when he took his hat off.
Yeah.
For the past 4 years, remember before he shaved it, when he would always still have the hat on, and you're like, I know, there's nothing under there. So
I remember,
so
the hat came off, and he had like this little skull cap on underneath.
Yeah. So somewhere between that and Baron Corbin level of balding, I think is where Tommaso Ciampa is right now. But I like the salt and pepper look. I love that. When Edge popped up on our television screen, I think it was 2 weeks ago as well, or maybe it was just last week, was where I noticed that his beard was a different color than when he came back at the Rumble. Maybe somebody, the top down saying, "Hey, shave your face so you look younger." But Tommaso Ciampa, he's like the same age as Hunter, I bet. So Hunter's just like, fucking go, you're going gray, who cares? Fucking who cares? And I love seeing it, just because we don't. Anybody whose hair we see is one consistent color. Who knows what the color could be? Wild, but it's always one consistent color. Tommaso Ciampa, he's making salt and pepper look good.
And almost always when people go bald, they never go back. Like Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, once you shave, you never grow it back out again.
Never. But Tommaso Ciampa's rewriting the professional wrestling rule book like he has 4 or 5 times already.
Yeah. But let's move on to the main event of night 1. We're going to have Io Shirai defending that women's title against Raquel Gonzalez, who's been looking like a beast lately. And I think she's the one to end this nice title reign that Io's had.
I think you could be right. Since the Raquel Gonzalez, I think, was, a standout performer at that War Games match. And kind of surprised us all. Not only when she... I think really, when she pinned Io Shirai with that one-arm powerbomb, you and I both kind of knew this is something different. This is something special. This is the start of a push.
I believe she was the Shooty winner, Rookie of the Year as well.
Former Shooty world winner, that was the start of a push, and this has to be the end of a push.
And she's been doing good. She's been delivered. The one-arm power bomb looks great every time she hits it.
Yeah,
it looks scary. No one's landing on their head.
No one's hurt themselves. No, I don't think anybody will hurt themselves or anything like that. But that's exactly it. I think Raquel Gonzalez is walking away with this. But, Mike, the bigger question, I think, is Io Shirai. Does that mean she's moving on up to the east side?
I don't know. I don't need... I mean, they could certainly use her on some brands, but I also worry about how they'll use her.
And you say some brands. To me, Io Shirai is SmackDown or bust. You can't put Io Shirai on the exact same show that Rhea Ripley is immediately.
Yeah, SmackDown would probably be better. She can mix it up with the likes of Sasha and Bayley.
Yeah, or the plan is just go for Io Asuka.
I mean, they will get there eventually, but... Yeah, SmackDown's probably better for her.
But yeah, either way, I think you and I, or I don't know. Do you think is this the last time we see Io Shirai in NXT?
I mean, they could give her a rematch, another title match, but yeah, if she loses, I don't see much else to stick around for.
And we've seen these sorts of NXT farewells before. This it happens. It happens.
Some take longer than others, but like Rhea Ripley, we were waiting, and now she's finally.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, she never had like a goodbye. Do you remember? I remember Aleister Black and Ricochet had like a goodbye, like a send off. Like I think they lost the match or whatever it was, but they got to stand up, wave, hug each other, like that kind of thing. And I think Io Shirai, if that is the case, she is deserving, certainly deserving of that little act.
Yeah. We'll see how they treat it.
Yeah, we'll see it. That's only night one, Mike.
That's only
night one. So let's get to night two. Let's get to night two. We also have 5 matches on this card. Presumably nothing on either day. We'll have a pre-show.
No, I mean, no pre-show matches.
No pre-show matches, but let's kick off. Let's kick off with a huge match. Well, I mean, God, I'm looking at this card, and all 5 of these matches are just going to go pop, 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 pop. But we're going to kick off with a match to determine the undisputed Cruiserweight champion, the NXT Cruiserweight champion. We're talking about Jordan Devlin and Santos Escobar in their ladder match. Jordan Devlin has claim to the throne, but Santos Escobar, just the interim champion. These things happen all the time.
Yeah, still a champion.
What I'm excited most for this match here is that even since Santos Escobar won, nothing's been done with it. It hasn't really felt like an important or sought-after championship. I'm sure he's done stuff. I mean, certainly I remember he was with Karrion Kross about a month ago. Certainly Santos Escobar has been there, but it hasn't really made it felt important. And having this ladder match, unification, undisputed champion will really make this feel a little bit more important.
Yeah, it started off well, like when they had that big tournament and he was still Phantasma and he won it, and then he unmasked, he turned heel, and then they basically didn't do anything else for the next 8 months. But yeah, this ladder match will be a banger. I mean, NXT and ladder matches are always great. So,
yeah. Oh, certainly, there hasn't been a bad one ever. And I think we're gonna want to kick off the show hot. I think Jordan Devlin is gonna be the one to retain.
You go with Devlin, eh? I don't know. This one could really go either way for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, if Devlin's gonna stick around here in North America, maybe. But I think I'll go with Santos.
We'll follow up in the other way on it. Fantastic. Love seeing it. Love seeing it. Let's move on here. Because just the night prior, 6 individuals fought for the opportunity to take on Johnny Gargano in a singles match for that NXT North American Championship. Johnny Gargano will be taking that winner. Mike, the night prior you took Grimy, I took LA Knight. But either way, how do we see our individual matches unfolding that next night?
I mean, I'm just booking with what I want here.
Oh, of course. That's what we're all doing.
If I'm going to put Grammy in the match, I'm going to go all the way with him. And to the moon, he's going to win that belt.
You're right. Yeah, back your horse if you're going for it. And for that exact same reason, LA Knight will be the new NXT North American champion. And then we'll go from there, taking on all comers,
Yeah, and then we'll throw in the wild card that neither of us picked, because, of course, Dexter Lumis is the one that's most storyline associated with Johnny Gargano.
Yes, so Dexter Lumis, of course, he's been silently choking people out for months now.
Yeah, and Stockholm syndroming them. Austin Theory is his buddy. He loves him, but I don't know.
Doing real creepy shit for a long time.
And Indy Hartwell's got the hots for him.
Okay, coming up next.
Anyway.
Coming up next, we have, let's go with a tag team match. We're going to take in a tag team match. Of course, we're talking those brand new, still bright and shiny NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. They haven't even been knocked against somebody's face yet to, have a little bit of a blood splatter or a scratch or something. But, of course, we're talking Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart taking on The Way, made up of Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. What I'm hoping for most out of this match, more than title changes or something exciting happening, I want the whole thing to be entertaining.
Yeah, and I think we'll get that for sure.
Candice LeRae, it sort of feels like she is the senior of these four competitors, even though Ember Moon's been on the main roster before. But Candice LeRae has led a lot of these women's multi-matches since War Games, when her and the Way kind of created themselves. I'm really looking forward to Shotzi and Ember still getting the win, but I think it's going to do a lot of good work for all four people.
Yeah, Candice really is like the veteran of the division, the mom, if you will. But no, this will just be a lot of fun. Good tag action. I could even see, maybe like an announce table spot in there because Shotzi's crazy. She loves to do stuff.
Yeah, and Candice will go through stuff also.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? I've seen Candice LeRae get power bombed onto thumbtacks before.
Yeah, she's crazy.
You're a quick Google search away, and hey, I'm sure if Shotzi Blackheart, if there was one other woman in that locker room who would want to pick up the old burlap sack, as it were, I think it would be Shotzi Blackheart. Who knows? Who knows what will happen to that down the line?
I mean, if you would let them have something like Baker and Thunder Rosa, Shotzi and Candice, those would be two of the ones you could
let them go for it. Okay, coming up.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Coming up next is a match which, maybe never should have happened, but injuries and the show and the adage of the show must being able to go on kind of created the situation that we're in now, where Finn Balor, our NXT champion, is taking on Karrion Kross. Accompanied to the ring, I'm sure, by Scarlett. Of course, Karrion Kross never lost this NXT championship. He had to relinquish it due to injury, which is a story that Finn Balor is all too familiar with. So Finn Balor knows the type of intensity that Karrion Kross is going to be bringing to this match.
Yeah, I mean, Finn Balor's been having a fantastic title reign here. Mm-hmm. I think it's allowed you to see what all of us knew Finn Balor could be. Because
well, he's been doing significantly less coup de grace. I also don't know if you've noticed that. He's been working that 1916 a lot more than he has been and than he had in the past.
I mean, well, we'll never agree on the coup de grace.
We will never agree on the coup de grace.
No Demon for a while either. He's just been badass Finn Balor. He gets, I don't know. But, this match, Karrion Kross, I feel like he's going to take the loss.
Ooh.
And he's going to be main roster bound soon enough.
Really? You think so?
I feel like the kind of character he is more to their liking, He's a big man. He doesn't really talk that much, but he's got the sexy sidekick, Scarlett. I feel like Vince loves that.
Yeah, I feel like, you're right. Karrion Kross is the kind of guy that Vince McMahon would be all over. I mean, he could win. He could definitely win the match. The title he never lost. So I don't know. Finn Balor's would that almost be disappointing?
I mean, my ultimate goal is that Finn Balor versus Walter, title versus title. So that's what I want.
Oh, that's the ultimate goal. Right.
Because we were promised Balor Walter, we never got that either. So
we were promised blood and guts, we never got that.
Yeah.
Wow, you're right. This could be exactly that. If Karrion Kross is moving up to the main roster, I would, where he would maybe fit in, both literally and figuratively. With the likes of Bobby Lashley, Braun, Sheamus, Drew, these brick shit houses who are out there. Where NXT, there doesn't really seem like anybody who is kind of pound for pound along with Karrion Kross right now. That being said, you mentioned it earlier. We have not seen the likes of the Demon Finn Balor in a long time. The Demon Finn Balor doesn't come out when just for any old championship match. He needs to be provoked. He needs to have something put him over the edge. And if he's going to come back, he's going to take on creepy Karrion Kross in the future. I think Karrion Kross is going to win this matchup here. We're going to get the rematch, though, with the Demon Finn Balor somewhere down the road. But for now, it's Karrion Kross's reign.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, if that still leads us to Balor Walter one day, that's fine with me.
As long as we get to Walter.
No matter how we get there.
You don't
but
care.
Either way. Maybe Karrion Kross is the one that comes out painted like a crocodile, and that's his superpower to win the match. He's Killer Croc.
He's Killer Karrion Kroc.
Yeah.
So that means we have to have a main event. I know you're
Yeah.
thinking the NXT Championship should be the main event, but sometimes there's things in professional wrestling that's bigger than professional wrestling. You know, like on 9/11 when Vince said, "Screw them, we're going on." You know, they went on with the show anyways.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
Well, yes.
They didn't care one bit.
I mean, they did care.
Well, I mean, they did care, but they didn't care. They didn't care enough to stop.
Well, they wanted to be the first
They did it
largest
for
organized
exactly. They
crowd.
did it for America, and just like here on NXT, some things are bigger than championship belts. Or
I didn't think we'd be tying 9/11 into this.
oh, I could find a way to tie 9/11 into anything. But of course, for our main event, we are talking about not only a match which is not only years in the making within this company, but decades in the making from around the world.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a tale as old as time. Best friends become no more. Of course, we're talking Adam Cole taking on Kyle O'Reilly in an unsanctioned match. One of like two stips on, and we're getting them both on this on night 2, which is also pretty fun.
That's even all the more reason to put the ladder match first, like you said, to spread it out.
We got to spread
out the violence.
Spread out the steps. Of course, it's the first singles match that Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly have been in with each other since Wrestle Kingdom 11, when Adam Cole beat Kyle O'Reilly for the Ring of Honor Championship. So we're 4.5 years ago since these two have gone at it, but these two have a long history of being friends, of being enemies. And this is what I got to say. This is the match I'm most looking forward to, I think, between both nights.
Yeah, I mean, this one's got high expectations. I mean, the unsanctioned, that means they can literally do anything they want. Weapons aplenty, maybe even some barbed wire. Who knows? Thumbtacks, we mentioned those. Those could make an appearance.
And like we said, there's no disqualifications. You know the heartstrings will be pulled when Bobby Fish comes back from vacation. Like, guys, I went on vacation with my family, and now all this is happening?
This is the perfect time to bring back Bobby Fish.
This will be it. This will be the destruction of a family, the love, the hate, the betrayal, the backstabbing. Hell, remember when Roddy took out whoever the fuck to help Kyle O'Reilly to help Kyle O'Reilly win those NXT Tag Team Championships? Yeah, we do. You do anything for your family. Will Roderick Strong do the same? Will Bobby Fish do the same? Is this the end of Undisputed Era as we know it? I honestly could not. This is a fucking flip a coin for me. I have no idea where this is gonna go.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be an explosion of the system. And yeah, Roddy, Bobby, I think they'll all come out. Anything can happen here. I don't know what the hell. We could see flames, a flaming table. Who knows? High hopes. I think they'll deliver though.
Yeah. This could be match of the night, match of the year, match of the pay-per-view.
It could very well.
And fuck it, let's give it to Kyle O'Reilly. Let's give it to him. Let's give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, why
and
not?
then Adam Cole, main roster. I know we've been saying that a lot.
I hope not. I don't want him to leave. I just want him to lose. There's a big difference there.
But I mean, if the system's broken up, the Undisputed Era, they're eventually going to split. I don't know.
Yeah, only to reunite on the main roster.
Yeah, the win, Kyle O'Reilly. Yeah, I'll give it to Kyle as well. He hasn't had as many big wins as Cole, so.
No, and he's been on this this insanely impressive streak too.
Yeah, but damn, that's gonna be 2 fun nights that I'm sure will stand and deliver.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. That was stand and deliver. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving because it is now time to bring ourselves down to the show of shows. Because for the second year in a row, we have the double night experience explosion. Of course, we're talking about WrestleMania 37. God, who knows what WrestleMania 37 would be in an alternate timeline, you know? Who knows what this card would look like?
Well, yeah, in a lot of ways. But this 2-night format. I hope it's something that sticks around because it's really going to it's really going to help a lot of these matches get a lot more time and feel better, or not everything's not as cramped in.
Yeah.
No 6-hour pay-per-view.
Yeah, no 6-hour pay-per-view, but we can do 2 5-hour pay-per-views, so it's all good. Mike, do you want to book first night or second night? Which one do you want?
I will do the second night.
Cool. So I'm going to book you your first night here. We have 7 matches on this show, and of course we're going to be sprinkling in a lot of our little side bets, or little prop bets that are coming in. We have a bunch of those that we'll pepper in every so often. So to kick off WrestleMania, what better way to kick off WrestleMania than with a singles match with absolutely nothing at stake? We're talking about Cesaro taking on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, no stranger to the WrestleMania stage before. Cesaro never had a singles competition.
Yeah, not at the big stage. No, I just think this is going to be a hot match. Good one to pick if you want to start the show off. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Seth Rollins is going to come out being an asshole, and Cesaro's going to come out and try to take this win, which is, at least as far as I see it. Mike, let's get to our first prop bet. We're talking about Cesaro here and that devastating swinging maneuver. How many swings will Cesaro hit? Now, of course, this has to be a rough kind of guess. You kind of see based on where the camera is at the time. You'll see him go 1 round, 2 round, counterclockwise or clockwise. It doesn't matter which direction it is. We're looking for total swings.
Well, I think the number he's going to hit is 37.
Wow.
For WrestleMania 37 to commemorate the honor. And I think he can do it. I think he's got the strength. I think he's got the endurance. I've seen him do at least 20, so I think he can do 37.
One for every
and I think
WrestleMania.
I think the crowd will go wild for it. They'll be counting, they'll be cheering, they'll be standing, clapping.
Oh, hopefully they're counting. Hopefully we get a 1, 2, 3. That's great, Mike.
Yeah.
37, 1 for every WrestleMania. How many swings will Cesaro hit? I have 25.
25. That's still a great number.
I think it's somewhere around here. It was even. I guess the odds of it being even, who knows what's going through his head when he's doing this? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyways.
All right.
That was a lot of fun. Let's get to our next match of the night. Let's put something at stake, shall we? Let's put the Raw Tag Team Championships at stake. Of course, we have the champions, The New Day, taking on AJ Styles and the very intriguing premiere of Omos, the tallest man in sports entertainment. AJ Styles has not ever collected that a tag team championship. He has multiple time U.S. champion, WWE champion. He's kind of looking to complete that little what's it called? Not Triple Crown. Is it called
Grand
Slam? That's what he's looking for. And I think tonight's the night that he's going to get one step closer to that Grand Slam.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they should give him the. You spent all this time building up Omos. You don't want to have him lose his first match, and AJ can do the first half of the match, and then you tag in the big guy. He'll do a couple cool moves we haven't seen, and be like, "Whoa, pretty good," and then they'll win.
And they'll get the win. Mike, with this, however, I do anticipate this being our first title change, but not the first title change of WrestleMania, Mike. So now our next bet, the total number of title changes.
Okay, and we're excluding the 24/7 title.
Now, for sake of this, we are excluding the 24/7 title because who knows what the fuck is going down with that thing.
Yeah, but according to the stats here, we should have 8 championship matches over the course of the 2 nights. So I guess, basically how many title changes do you think we're going to see?
And you gave us your answer first last time, so I'll give you my answer this time. I've got 5 titles will change hands.
I also say 5 titles will change hands.
That's okay. We can have the same answer. I mean, there's There's no money on the board. This won't be confusing or something.
Yeah.
But Mike, we began by excluding the 24/7 championship, but let's include it right now, Mike. How many times will the 24/7 championship change hands between both nights?
I'll go with 8.
8. That's a great guess, Mike. I'm clocking in at 4.
4.
So
Okay.
yeah, you see a couple more. You see a couple more than I am. But yeah, this is gonna be good. I mean, I guess as long as our truth leaves with it, I guess that's fine. But who knows?
I feel like Logan Paul's gonna win it and lose it at some point, and any other celebrity that they might have.
Yeah, who knows? Bad Bunny could get it back.
Yeah, once again.
Bad Bunny could get it back for all that we know. Great. Coming up next, that was our Raw Tag Team Championship. Let's move on to some more tag team action because, of course, on night 2 on Sunday, there will be a match between Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for that WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. But we kind of have a little qualifier coming up here. We've got Lana and Naomi. We got Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose. We got the Riot Squad. We got Natalya and Tamina, and possibly others. Who the hell knows? But at least it's going to be those 4 or 5 teams for now. Who's coming away with it out of these people?
Well, the turmoil. One thing I like about the turmoil is it's elimination style match, so you get a bit more drama added in there.
Mm-hmm. It's not just like bodies in the ring.
Yeah, and one pin, you're out. It's like a little Survivor Series type thing. But I guess, the Riot Squad's barely even been on TV right now, so even though I think they're the best team, I don't think they're going to win it. I don't know. Maybe you give it to Lana and Naomi. Let Lana have her moment she's never had.
Well, because, of course, Mike, for you, I guess,
she's still chasing that
this
title.
is, you're kind of booking both matches at the same time.
Yeah.
Because who do you want if you want someone to dethrone Nia and Shayna? Who's it gonna be? And I think their counterpart here is Natalya and Tamina. Tamina keeps up with the size of Nia, and Natalya keeps up with the grappling of Shayna. Like, I see it being booked kind of well, actually. But for that reason, I think they could be the winners of this match and the winners on night 2.
Wrestling wise, I could see the match, but yeah, they're I don't know, Natalya and Tamina.
Natty and Tammy.
Yeah, I don't know. But either way, I'm excited that there's women's. That they added, even though there's no story, that they added the women's to the card.
Yeah, even though, God, a lot of tag matches on this first night. At least there's 3 of them here, by the feels of it. So let's move on.
Hey, where's Bailey been?
The ding dong hello.
Ding dong goodbye.
Ding dong, more like ding dong goodbye.
Yeah.
But
she should be hosting WrestleMania.
She should have. Is that who is host? Is there a host?
I think it's Titus and Hulk Hogan.
Ah, boo!
What a duo!
Oh my God! I don't know what's more uncomfortable: seeing Hulk Hogan on camera or seeing Hulk Hogan on camera beside an African American who's clearly not comfortable that he's standing beside Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Next up, actually, let's cover a couple prop bets while we're here.
Yes.
While we are here, we are looking at the entrances. So, usually the long entrance is something pretty much a time slot reserved for Hunter or Undertaker. For the first time in God knows how many years, neither of those 2 men are on the card. But somebody still has to have the longest entrance, Mike. So who do you think will have the longest entrance? And do you have a time guess estimate? Now, I'm going to kick this one off.
Okay.
I'll kick this one off for you, because this performer will be coming up later on night 1, and I believe their entrance will be long, not because it's going to be theatrical and take them a while, but because they sing songs. Songs are approximately more than 2.5 minutes long, and for that reason, I think Bad Bunny and Damian Priest's entrance is going to be the longest. Because this is how I see it playing out. I see Mizmo coming out first, doing some kind of hey, hey, hop, hop joke, and then I see Bad Bunny coming out and really rapping.
Yeah.
And I think the whole thing will kind of be encompassed as his entrance, and for that reason, I think it's going to take Bad Bunny and Damian Priest 2.5 minutes to make it to the ring.
Yeah, no, I think that's my best pick as well. Bunny and Priest. I could see them pulling out in the Bugatti, driving out to the ramp as well. And kind of he's rapping in the car, gets out of the car, walks down.
That'd be cool.
So, yeah, I think that'll definitely... yeah, I'll say 4 minutes and 11 seconds.
4:11. Love seeing it. I love seeing it.
Another dark horse candidate, Rhea Ripley. They announced that she's going to be played live. Her entrance music, whatever band makes that.
Oh, that's cool.
This is my but that's probably only going to get a couple. That probably won't be a full performance.
Yeah.
But another wild card, The Fiend. You never know, because we still don't know what the hell that match is going to be.
I know. Unfortunately, I'm we'll talk about that one later.
We didn't even really talk about them on Raw. All they did was
we
show a video
literally
package.
didn't talk about it on Raw.
Yeah, they got a video package.
It's been brewing for months, and we didn't even talk about it. Wow. Well, what a go-home
We'll
show.
dive into it, but I'll just say if it's a regular match and he does walk down to the ring, I imagine it being very somber.
We'll get a long, hurt heel.
like The Undertaker. But
Yeah.
But either way, Bad Bunny, I think we'll agree on that.
Seems like a safe bet. Let's get to that match right away, because Bad Bunny and Damian Priest are taking on Miz and Mo for nothing but pride.
Yeah, pride and, music. Grammy Award winning
pride
versus...
and music, baby. Bad Bunny's, of course, Bad Bunny and Damian Priest are getting the win in this because obviously, right?
Yeah. And I think Bunny's going to pull something out, like a moonsault or a 450 splash. He's been practicing something.
That would be fun. That would be fun, and we still get, Damian Priest can still kind of carry the brunt of the performance, and then Damian Priest moves on to something better.
Yeah, and Bad Bunny, who knows what he does?
Yeah.
I mean, he probably doesn't want to leave. He's like, hey, can I do something?
Can I just hang around here? You guys are pretty fun.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the next match, because we are going to move on to our Royal Rumble winner, Bianca Belair. She could have challenged either of the champions on either roster, but she chose Sasha Banks to challenge for that SmackDown Women's Championship. What do we got here? The build for the past the build has been all over the place for this one. We're kind of hot and then or off, and then they both got beat by Nia and Shayna individually, and then they were on the same team, and then it was just with just the slap of a face, they were mortal enemies.
Yeah, no, it's a match that on paper, when I see the two names and it's for the title, I'm like, hey, that could be the main event. But the build has not been very main event worthy. But I mean, it still could be. But yeah, either way, once the bell rings, I think they're going to deliver. And I don't know, Belair could get the big title win here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if Bianca Belair's, the build has really not made me feel like she's supposed to win this.
No, I don't know. Maybe this is where they fully commit to Sasha turning heel and does some dastardly things to defend. I don't know.
Yeah, and then maybe have, with Sasha Banks as Little Miss Heel, we no longer have a top babyface on SmackDown in the SmackDown Women's division, right? I guess it is still Bianca Belair, but I don't really feel like she's our top babyface.
Yeah.
Because Bayley is a tweener, Carmella is a heel, and I really don't know. I feel like the time for Bianca Belair to win might not be now, and maybe this is up for Sasha to retain.
Well, we don't even. It's hard to gauge because we don't really know how the crowd receives Belair yet. We haven't really seen them.
Yeah, well, but just purely from like how they're booked, or I think how we're supposed to perceive what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just know that the match will over-deliver on what's been booked so far.
It'll have to over-deliver.
Yeah. Either way, I expect a great match.
Yeah. Next up on the card, I'm putting this in the classic between two good matches slot. Just because this is going to be terrible. But Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon are taking each other on in a steel cage match. For almost no reason. I can't pick. This is certainly my least excited for match, I think, between both nights. Give it to Braun. Just don't do the fucking choo-choo thing.
Well, he's confined in the cage, so he can't run around the outside.
Thank God. And we know he can't climb up to the top. He doesn't fit on the top.
But yeah, Shane McMahon will get some big... He'll fall off the cage or something somehow.
Well, I mean, that was going to be the next question, Mike. Of course, our next bet. Will Shane McMahon jump or fall off the tallest thing? And if not, if your answer is no, who will jump or fall off something taller?
Well... I think Shane will fall, but I don't think it'll be the biggest fall of them all.
Mm-hmm.
I think that... I mean, Kevin Owens, he still promised me he was going to jump off that pirate ship, so I'm waiting.
Well, there you go. You think Kevin Owens is going to jump off something taller. Mike, I agree. Yeah. Shane McMahon will somehow jump or fall off the top of this thing, but he will be the tallest, highest jump faller out of them all.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. If he falls off the top of the cage through an announce table, that's a pretty good fall.
Pretty good fall.
But, I mean, Braun should win, right? Even though we don't care, he should win.
Oh, yeah, Braun Strowman's going to win.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we'll be like, whatever, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, no, we'll whatever.
It did nothing.
Even that, like, Shane O'Mac Miz match from 2 Manias ago. Remember the one with Mr. Potato Head?
Yeah,
like,
see, that had something to it.
That had something to it. Like, it was Shane...
Miz's father was forever on a T-shirt. We love him.
I know. Braun just... Yeah, neither one of these guys are bringing... Nobody... And neither... You know what's bothered me, I think, more? Neither of these guys have addressed Raw Underground. And they were 2 of the driving forces behind Raw Underground.
I don't think anyone's going to address Raw Underground anymore.
Well,
ever.
We'll leave that to the nerds at home. Mike, that means we have our final match of night 1. This will be our main event because this is the WWE Championship that we're talking about here. It's deserving of the main event. We are talking about Bobby Lashley, our champion, taking on Drew McIntyre. Will Cedric Alexander and the other guy, Shelton Benjamin, be banned from ringside? We still assume so. No reason to think they're not. But this will be Bobby Lashley's first title defense since winning his championship a few weeks back.
Yeah, MVP. He'll be there, though, with his cane strutting around. But, yeah, this match, if it's not the main event, I feel like it could be the opening match, too, to kick off with a big bang.
That'd be a bang, yeah.
Yeah, but either way, who's going to win? I feel like even though Bobby Lashley hasn't had it that long, I feel like they want to give it to Drew to give him that crowning moment in front of the crowd he didn't have last year.
You know what, Mike? And I was thinking the same thing here. You know, Drew McIntyre Rumble to Mania push last year was wild. One of the best Rumbles we will ever see. He got to be a part of, and you're right. Maybe he never quite had that moment that he should have. Certainly, the moment that he deserved. And I think you could be in the right boat. I think Drew McIntyre could be the guy to go over our boy Bobby Lashley here.
Yeah. So
yeah,
Drew crowning champ
and making him 3-time WWE champion. That'd be great. We have 2 more bets to cover while we are here. Because, Mike, we are looking at our most likely returns. Now, a return could happen kind of at any time. It could be while somebody's coming down while somebody's walking down the ramp. It could be at the end of a match, when that music hits. It could just kind of, be... But I mean something significant enough in a way that they are involved enough. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike, I'm going to give one to you right here. Because there's a lot of beef. There's a lot of beef in this ring when we're talking about our main event of night 1, Bobby Lashley taking on Drew McIntyre. And why not? It's been 372 days since we've seen one of the beefiest boys in professional wrestling. That's right. We're talking about Brock Lesnar.
Ooh, baby.
I think Brock Lesnar will be making his return at some point in this match, whether he costs Bobby Lashley the victory, whether he beats down Drew at the end. I think those are the two most likely options. But Brock wasn't coming back until people were there. And as soon as people were there, you knew he was coming back. So for that reason, I think Brock Lesnar will make his return this Saturday.
Interesting. And now that Paul Heyman is so deeply rooted with Roman Reigns, where does that leave Brock on his own?
They can be on different shows, right?
I mean, he can work double duty. Paul Heyman, I mean, but...
I was thinking, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Paul Heyman could go, Brock's on Raw. But, that could be a big return. I'm going to go with a different one.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned earlier, Bayley is shockingly absent from this show after having that fantastic title reign last year. But sometimes during WrestleMania, they just have impromptu matches booked, right? Someone just comes out, like The Rock fought Eric Rowan a few years ago, pinned him in 3 seconds. So I think Bayley should come out and just be all, hey, man, what the fuck? Why am I not on WrestleMania? I want to fight someone right now! And then the music hits, the big return. Whoa! Becky Lynch is back. Hot off the pooping out a baby. The medical terms.
Medical terms, yeah.
She could just come down, have a quick little squash, beat Bayley, and then they're on WrestleMania. Everyone's happy. And she's protected.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you're allowed to lose to Becky. You're allowed to lose to Becky Lynch at Mania impromptuly. That's okay.
Yeah. Have like a 30-second arm breaker. Boom. Everyone's losing their minds. No one thought Becky Lynch would be here.
Yeah, I know that would be a lot of fun because we know that she's coming back sooner rather than later. We know it would have to happen eventually.
Someday. Yeah.
One more bet here before we move over to night 2 of WrestleMania, because if you've been there before, you return. But if you've never been there at all, then you have to debut. Mike, so this one be here. Most likely debut. So what I mean by this would be somebody who we've never seen on Raw or SmackDown, who we now see on Raw or SmackDown. This could also be something like interfering. This could be, post-match, pre-match. This could be some kind of, hey, they happen to be backstage. But most of these categories, Mike, like we said, actually, like you said, Paul Heyman's on SmackDown doing his things with Roman Reigns. Who's going to be there to talk for Brock Lesnar? Mike, I've got a big old basket, and I'm going to put all of my eggs in them, because premiering alongside Brock Lesnar is none other than former UFC heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier. He will be, not only does he fit seamlessly in these brick shit houses at the top of this WWE championship scene, he is that voice. He's the voice we haven't heard on in professional wrestling, but we've heard it in UFC fighting. He's got the smile. He's got the charisma. And I think he would kind of be that perfect balance for Brock Lesnar. They both have a very similar story. And I'm just seeing the top of this WWE Championship card, the biggest dudes on the fucking planet. Daniel Cormier, we'll see him night 1, WrestleMania.
All right. I like it. So, you want a surprise appearance?
Yes, I do. It's me. I want all the surprises. I want all the smoke.
I'll go something crazy
that
probably could never, ever happen. But,
if you're going to say Kota Ibushi, I'm just going to turn off the show.
No. This might even be crazier than that.
Oh, wow.
So you pick Daniel Cormier. He's a big guy. Pairs along well with Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. Both very famous fighters. But we got that Universal title match main event coming up that we'll talk about in a little bit. But one of the guys on the smaller end of that match is Daniel Bryan. So let's say he gets the big win here and he's celebrating. And then who shows up from behind and hits him with a chair? The notorious one, Conor McGregor. What the hell is he doing here? Can you believe that?
Wow. Well, hey, we both went... Our minds are in the same place, though. We're both going UFC fighters. That sort of seems to be, when you kind of the perfect mix of celebrity and fighter that WWE really likes.
Mm-hmm. They've it's the fight game. They're both involved in the fight game. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, and of course, SmackDown being on Fox, like that's bigger than USA Network. It's the fucking truth.
And that would cause headlines around the world.
Ratings
Conor McGregor
spikes
shows up
all
at
over the
WrestleMania.
fucking planet. That would be that'd be huge.
Because I do think one day we will see him in some capacity in WWE ring, whether it's for a match or for a thing. Like we saw Mayweather, we saw Fury, we saw all these other guys.
Yeah, that mix, which they like doing. So who knows? We can see that. And that was fantastic. But that was only night one.
That was only night one. We got some more matches to get to, some more bets. So let's just jump right into this. Night two. Well, we'll just kick off the show with a fun match that these guys, they've been going at it for years and years and years. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. It's a regular singles match, but I still feel like they're going to find a way to fight out around the ringside into the crowd. Because like I said earlier, Kevin Owens has to jump off that pirate ship. So that's the time to do it. But Logan Paul's going to be there. I think he'll interfere, help Sami Zayn, and that could be the cause of Sami getting the win. With Logan Paul nailing Kevin with a kendo stick.
Yeah, who knows who could be the victor here. But yeah, with only 7 matches on the night, there's a chance that these guys could actually fight for 18 minutes and not 11 like they would probably get on another WrestleMania, in an alternate timeline. These guys have been fighting for years. It would be nice to see Sami Zayn get a win.
Yeah, I think he might have won last year, the Intercontinental on WrestleMania. Was that last year, him and Bryan?
Oh, God, that feels like a fucking lifetime ago, if you're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so.
Wow, well, there you have it.
Okay. So that's your opener match. Let's go next to Riddle, defending his United States Championship against Sheamus. I think this is just going to be a good, heavy-hitting, good brawler-style match. Could really go either way. Which brings me to one of my prop bets here. Because I don't think it's going to be intentional, but will someone bleed over the course of these 2 nights? I say someone's going to get busted open in this match. Someone's lip's going to get cut. Some of these big knee strikes is going to connect. And Riddle or Sheamus is going to be bleeding from the nose or face somehow.
Riddle or...
No blade jobs, though. No blade jobs.
No blade jobs, just an actual bleeding.
Yeah. Someone's going to bleed, though.
Someone will bleed. Do you bleed? This is a great one. Who's going to bleed? Who's it going to be? I think the Ran Man's going down.
Yeah.
The Ran Man's coming up with blood coming off from somewhere.
I mean, if you count fake blood, if he starts coughing it up, that could...
No, that's motor oil. I'm talking about blood. Yeah, something brutal's going to happen. He'll bleed somehow.
All right.
Let's do another prop bet while we're here. On either night, is there anything that you could see as actually being the most likely submission victory? Not many stips on this card. Certainly no submission-only matches.
Yeah.
On this whole thing, is there a performer, if anyone, who you see getting a sub victory?
I mean, a lot of these guys and girls, they use them. There's the bank statement. You got the Hurt Lock. Of course, the Yes Lock, the Oscar Lock. A lot of locks here.
A lot of locks here.
So, yeah, there's definitely going to be a submission, I think. What was the phrasing of the bet? Will there be a submission?
Yeah, no, who's the most likely for a submission victory?
I go with... the most likely, I'll say Sasha Banks taps out Belair.
With that big old bank statement.
Yeah. Because other ones, like Bryan could win without the yes lock. He could do the knee and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so most likely.
Most likely. You know what? I'm going to stick on the women's side of the action, but I'm actually looking to another match that will happen this evening. I think Natalya will get either Shayna or Nia in that sharpshooter. and take him down that way. I don't think Tamina has
You're doubling down.
I'm really doubling down. I have a couple where I'm doubling down. I really don't think Tamina has a finisher besides do the thing my murderer father did.
Samoan drop, maybe.
So no, that's Nia's finisher.
I mean, they're both Samoa.
So I think Natalia's going to take that one.
Well, I'm going the opposite on that match. I think they're going to be the first team eliminated.
Ooh.
But let's continue this booking of night 2. Because up next we've got Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending against the winner of those tag team turmoils. So it could be anyone. But yeah, we've just said who I think it won't be and who you do think it will be. So either way, I just hope a new champion is crowned.
As long as a new champion is crowned, you don't mind. Yeah. I think I think new champ too. I'm just kind of going for Natalya Tamina. I guess you're going for Lana Naomi, and we kind of hope for the best.
Exactly.
Let's do a quick bet while we're here though.
Yes.
We are talking match lengths for this one. So it's kind of like I have a couple here for you, and they're kind of like a 2-part question. Which one do you think? Which match will be the shortest? And how long do you think that, or how short do you think that will be?
Yeah, there's 2 options I'm considering.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The one, because we still don't know what the fuck The Fiend versus Orton is. So between the bell time and if it's actually just like a short little, or if there's all this presentation, or I don't know. So I could go with that, but do you have a pick?
Yeah, I've got my pick all ready to go here. Because looking at match length times, a short match is a squash, or they really don't know what's going on. And I'm looking on this card. I don't see any squashes in front of me, but I see a whole hell of a lot of we don't know what's going on. And for that reason, the Women's Tag Team Championship match on night 2 will last 9 minutes.
9 minutes. Okay. I will finalize my pick. I will say that Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison will be short but sweet. You know, they'll get like a 4-minute entrance and then have a 7-minute and 3-second match where Bunny gets some fun moves in and they get a quick win.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like this. I was going to say Braun and Shane, but having the only stipulation makes it feel like it's going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You know, like they wouldn't use the cage if it was only going to be for 5 minutes. Or maybe they would. And they're going to surprise us all.
Okay, let me get back on my card here. So we're on to Big E defending his Intercontinental Championship against Apollo Crews in a Nigerian drum fight. Which we don't really know. Maybe the ring will be surrounded with Nigerian drums and they can smash each other in them.
To me, it just feels like it's going to be a no DQ. Anytime it's like Chicago street fight, St. Patrick's Day brawl, Nigerian street, it all means the exact same thing. It all means no DQ, and we'll put a couple props around the ring. So that's like kind of, I think, how I interpret that.
Yeah. I'm trying to Google an image of a Nigerian drum.
I picture a big drum.
I expected it.
Yeah.
It's like the thing that Tracy had in Sam's house.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can
his
picture
mom's
that.
big drum.
Yeah, a big conga-like thing.
Just put a couple of those around the ring. You can slam each other into them.
Yeah. And it's weird. I mean, Big E won this Intercontinental Championship last year, like in 2020. Like, it's been probably 4 months now. Still doesn't feel like he's kind of gotten that, that momentum that he could have. So maybe he can take a big win here and kind of take that momentum going forward. That would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the ceiling is on this new Nigerian Prince Apollo Crews. What his deal is.
Yeah. It's but yeah, I think I'd like to see Big E get the win here. And just kind of hope for the best there.
Let's go to the Raw Women's Championship match. Asuka defending against Rhea Ripley, which this kind of just all came together. This was supposed to be Lacey versus Charlotte, right?
Well, that's what you. I think that
Allegedly.
was what it felt like it was going to be.
But, I mean, we're happy Rhea Ripley got called up. It took a while, and they kind of just threw her into this. But at the end of the day, the wrestling can deliver. And I think we'll get a great match. But Ripley could win. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope Ripley's going to win. Really just to, I mean, fuck. I mean, it's just the hope that, you know, throw some fresh blood in there, and then maybe it'll kind of turn into something better. You know, it's like that kind of thing. It's like, you know, and Asuka can put on a great match with anybody. Maybe it's like a little bit of that. You know, it's sort of like starting off the new year on the right foot with Rhea Ripley as your champion.
Yeah, and yeah, that could be good because we still, she's got a bit of an edge to her. She's not quite a heel, but she's
she's kind of tweener enough that we can make our decision.
Yeah, we can kind of book her against anyone at the moment.
Yeah, and then have it kind of work either way going forward. Let's move on to another bet. We were talking about a few here. We were talking about the sleeper hit of the show. The, you know, I guess the best match that hasn't really been booked well going into it, but it could actually end up being something strong, Mike. And I think there's no better example of a sleeper hit than Asuka and Rhea Ripley. It's kind of like that mix, too, of giving like the main roster fans a chance to see Rhea Ripley, who's somebody we're all quite familiar with, and we're all quite familiar with her skills. And for relatively no build to this match, we still have two performers in this ring who know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, no, I think this is the one that I would go with as well. For people that don't know much about Ripley, they're gonna. I mean, she was on WrestleMania last year, but it's been a whole year since we've seen her on the main roster, so they'll see what she can do. That'll be the sleeper hit. Yeah,
that'll be the sleeper hit of the show, Mike. Two more bets here. We were talking about just kind of being in front of fans. We were talking about how we don't know how people are going to respond to certain performers. Right? Like, is Bianca Belair gonna get cheered like we think she should? Or I think my biggest question going in, will Roman Reigns be booed like we think he should? I really don't know. So let's just ask it right now. We have the most cheered and the most booed. Now, this is kind of up for interpretation here. I really think more it's sort of like who's.
Well, it's the ear test.
It's the ear test, and maybe, you know, how will crowd reactions, will they be consistent with what we kind of think should be going forward anyways? I'm going to start off, I'll kick off this one here, Mike, because I think exactly like we thought. This guy's getting booed for all the right reasons for the first time in his life. I think Roman Reigns will be the most booed here on the card. Just because I don't feel like anyone's that bad enough. Also, like, I feel like he's the biggest baddie by far. And he's the last one people might want to win in this Universal Championship match.
He's definitely the biggest baddie, but I feel like he's almost too good at it that there's going to be a portion of the crowd that's going to cheer him because he's so good at it. Mm-hmm. And but he will, I still think, get a lot more boos than cheers, but I think there'll be other guys who get a higher majority, including one that always gets booed. I'm going to think The Miz is going to get a ton of boos.
The Miz, he's been getting booed for years.
Yeah, The Miz. I'll go with The Miz, and by association, Morrison.
Yeah, just poor Mo.
And hopefully Nia and Shayna get some good boos as well. But I think people don't care enough about them.
Yeah, I don't even want to waste their breath. That's the match that you go take a piss for. Let's move across the board, right? Because if you can have negative reactions, you can have positive reactions. So let's get to our most cheered. Is this
most cheered?
Most cheered. This one was easy for me, just because you can't not cheer him or not boo him. It really doesn't matter what side of the field that he's on, and the way that he's inserted himself into what that could be our main event. I'm talking Daniel Bryan. There's no way he doesn't get yesed the fuck out of that building.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. It's going to be awesome. The visual's going to be there. Everyone's hands are going to be pointing up. Yeah. Whether he wins or loses, we'll still get that entrance pop.
Oh, it's all about the entrance pop. We're it's all about that.
Yeah, so it's going to be awesome. But let's move on. We got two more matches here, and there's a couple bets to tie in. So let us go on to The Fiend taking on Randy Orton as of this moment in a singles match. But anything could happen between now and then. You know, it could start backstage as a segment, and then Randy gets transformed through this magical world, and it ends up back in the ring. But somehow or another, I think this is going to lead to the prop bet of the most pyro usage on the show. Whether it's in the entrance or the actual match, if we're going to get some fireballs, or even The Fiend just coming out if he has a big entrance. I think there's going to be lots of flames to represent how charred and broken he is now.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't heard about a stip, if there is a stip for this match. I'm really surprised we haven't heard about anything. Because I think, you know, for a while now, we have sort of almost like very reassuringly told ourselves, like, this will be pre-taped. But I guess what? Are they going to tell us on fucking Twitter that it's pre-taped? I really don't know. And how are they going to play it off with all the magic and the fun and, of course, the live element of it all? God, yeah, The Fiend has to get the win?
Yeah, and if it is a match wrestling in that whole bodysuit, that's going to be tough.
Like, that's going to be hard. That's going to be hard. Yeah, because this could kind of almost be a send-off for The Fiend also. The way in which they've turned his character into this thing that relies on a pre-filming edited element. Is this the end of, you know, this kind of current iteration of The Fiend? Maybe how do we return this guy to live?
Well, I think this is the beginning of this version of The Fiend.
Okay.
Now that he's all burnt and broke.
Yeah.
I mean, Alexa just keeps talking for him for now, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm expecting a spectacle, though.
Yeah. Expect a spectacle. That's great. That's great.
But that leaves us with only one last match. And I think we all know this is the main event of the weekend, of the night, of the year. The triple threat Universal title match. Roman Reigns defending against Edge and Daniel Bryan. You know, we all talked about it already. Daniel Bryan, he's the hero. I think we'd all love to see him win, but this could go any which way, this match.
This will be the one that nobody will get right. Who knows what the fuck will happen? But either way, it's three of the strongest performers out there going at it. Daniel Bryan, who can do no wrong. Roman Reigns, who's just been on this. Not only has like this character been fantastic, but like it's just great that the character can finally back up all the in-ring ability he already had. Like, you never used to watch a Roman Reigns. Remember Roman Reigns with, like, the bulletproof vest Roman Reigns? You never watched one of those matches and said it was bad. You were just kind of, like, not sold on his motivation. And now we finally have that perfect mix of the two. The Roman Reigns motivation with that in-ring ability that we all know is fucking through the roof.
Yeah, can't wait for this main event match, which leads us into another bet. Because I'm going to say that this one will be the longest match of the weekend, clocking in at over 30 minutes. 32-13.
32-13. I love how specific you are with all of these. Mike, you're right. I also think that this will be the longest match, not only with what's at stake, the performers who are involved. But yeah, I think this is going to clock in at 35 minutes. I think they're going to let these guys fucking go, especially on this card where I see some, I already pegged my shortest match. If Fiend and Randy is pre-recorded, we can kind of cap that at like 12 minutes. That could be a quick one too. Leave all the time in the world for this main event. And yeah, it's just gonna be a banger. What did you say? You said 32-13?
Yeah.
Perfect. We gotta, I gotta write all this down.
Yeah,
so
the
sure.
stats.
So we can be sure to cover it, Mike. So I'm going to lead in, before we kind of get to our predictions for the match, I'm going to lead this in with, we only have a couple more bets here. We're talking about the most pyro. Somewhere between the way things used to be and the exploding barbed wire death match is kind of what we're looking for, right? Just like a little bit more that, who's going to get the most, Mike. And I think the performer who I think will receive the most pyro will be once he wins the Universal Championship and Daniel Bryan stands up on the post of the ring, and it's like fire's gonna go off with every single yes he does. It's just gonna be like, just emerging from all corners, because they're not, certainly not at max capacity. They'll have these large pockets where nobody can sit. They're just going to be filled with fucking flamethrowers. Elon Musk level flamethrowers. Just going to spurt up every time we're saying yes. It's going to be the biggest moment of the professional wrestling year when Daniel Bryan walks home with the Universal Championship.
Yes, I do think there will be a grand explosion for the end of WrestleMania. But, I think I said earlier, I think that The Fiend, he'll get some crazy fire in there. Who knows what we'll get during the entrance, during the match. But I think there'll be a lot of pyrotechnics for The Fiend.
Yeah. I mean, he's the fire guy.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And that leaves us. I mean, we predicted who we think's going to win the match, or anyone can really win. I'll be happy either way, as long as they deliver.
Yeah, and it will.
Which they will.
I bet it will. Yeah. And so I guess that was the whole card. But final bet, of course, it is over 2 nights. No longer do we have to sit through one 8.5 hour long WrestleMania. Now we can sit through as many as we want. So there's 2 nights. Here it is. It begins at 8 p.m. Eastern. So what we're looking for is from 8 p.m. until, the little credits come up in the bottom right-hand corner. And then it's off the air. That minute. And then we will take both, and then we'll do that again for night 2. We will add them both together. I just want to be sure on how this is actually going to go down, just so we can make sure. So, Mike, I would love to hear your total runtime for both nights combined. So, total runtime.
So you want me to add the 2 times together?
Exactly. Yeah, it's total. It's total.
Okay.
It's total time between both nights.
Well, that would get us to 6 hours and 55 minutes.
6:55.
Yes, 6 hours 55 minutes.
Okay. Did you? I didn't split mine up. Did you have? Did you have different?
Yes.
Which one was longer? Which one was shorter?
Night 2 is longer.
Okay.
Just by virtue of it being the culmination. So that would be 3 hours, 34 minutes. And night 1 would be 3 hours, 21 minutes.
Okay. That's great. That's great, Mike. I, on the other hand, I went with a little more evenly round number. I think that our total runtime is going to be 8 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if I see one card being longer than the other as much so as I just picture midnight is a nice time to call it in. Call it a night at midnight. It makes sense. 8 + 4, 12. We all get it. And the kids can, they can go to bed before school.
Well, unless they want to stay up for that Jericho
Unless
Steve
we're
Austin.
staying up for Jericho Steve Austin, in which case we support you, kids.
Yeah, you'll be up till like 2 in the morning. That's okay, though. It's WrestleMania week.
WrestleMania week. Your parents will let you stay up a little late. But wow, that was the entire preview card.
Yeah, what a show it's going to be. Even if the stories and builds weren't that great, the wrestling should be pretty good.
Yeah.
And the crowd is going to be hot the whole time, so it's going to be fun.
The crowd's the most important part, which we're looking forward to. Mm-hmm. But that was the podcast. That was the whole show. Oh, my Lord. Thanks for listening. Again, tune into WrestleMania. We'll be back with another show, probably just to recap Stand and Deliver, maybe. And then, of course, AEW is still going on. So we still will have to cover that at one point. Throw in a quick Dynamite, like BTS. And then we'll be back. Probably the show you'll hear after that will be the Mania review alongside Monday Night Raw. The Fallout.
And then from now on, no more Wednesday Night War.
Yeah, no more Wednesday Night War. So we'll have to adjust our show once again. But that's okay, folks. Thanks for listening. Remember, you can rate, review, like, subscribe. The podcast is all over the place. And everyone, just have a great WrestleMania week. Have a great weekend.
Yes, enjoy.
It's supposed to be if you're living in Southern Ontario, it's supposed to be sunny and warm and a beautiful time to stay inside.
Yeah, if you were thinking about watching the Masters, well, you can probably watch it during the day.
Yeah, you can probably watch it during the day, but you're gonna have that second laptop open if you want to watch, the Raptors game or the Leafs game or something.
The Jays, all that.
The Jays, because sports are back, but this is more important.
Of course, this week.
Okay, folks. Well, thanks for listening, and Mike, you take care of yourself.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Shoot.